XL, we have Rahman, we have Shaheem, we have special guest Uncle Murda. JFK is taking a break to edit the new issue that we're working on because we're under deadline. And the Moments of Clarity podcast. So, what are we starting with? I think big news of the week was Colin Kaepernick's workout. This ties into hip hop. Colin Kaepernick's workout for the NFL, allegedly put together by JayZ. So, Jay possibly set up or opened the door for Kaepernick to have a workout with the NFL this week. And due to some changes between the NFL and Kaepernick, it ended up that Kaepernick basically created his own workout. And the rumor was that JayZ wasn't so happy with that. So what do you guys think of that?
I mean, I definitely felt like it was a JayZ move to get the workout in the first place for the 25 NFL teams. Jay, he caught a lot of flack from some people who didn't really quite understand what he was doing, aligning himself with the NFL, besides it being a hell of a business move. It was an opportunity for him to make change, like a wise man once said by the name of Shaheem Reid, you got to be in the building.
That was a good one.
I was trying to figure out how to throw that over there, but you got it.
No, but you gotta actually be in the building or be in the house to move the furniture. The change,
to move the furniture with your
foot. So I thought it was a power move by Jay and Rock Nation. Now, things started to go haywire somewhere along the way where there was a waiver and there was a question about some of Kaepernick's cameras getting into it. And
he wanted to shoot a commercial and bring his own camera, and the NFL was not having sounds like the camera part, opening it to the media.
But for the record, we're not sure that JayZ actually hooked it up or that he's actually mad, right? That's not nothing that's confirmed that he's not mad. That
some people, Rock Nation had said that he was not so happy with how things went down after that. We didn't hear it from JayZ's mouth, so you got to decide if you believe the Jay representatives and the Rock Nation representatives. Jay didn't come out and be like, "Hey,
I just feel like he's too smooth to say anything or even like."
They put out some. It was crazy. I didn't even think it was real, but Rock Nation tweeted like was supposed to be like a response yesterday, and it was like a source said that JayZ's not upset.
We got confirmation from Rock Nation as well with that also. So that was coming from somewhere within the camp that he wasn't happy with. And that's the first thought I saw was after this is like if Jay did one of the first moves he made with this deal was to try and put this together for Kaepernick and it turned into that, was he like, oh man, I tried and you fucked it up? Or did he respect what he did because of the NFL's pushback? I was definitely curious in what you thought.
I think it might have been a situation where, and again, I haven't spoken to him, but he might have just been disappointed because, Jay is he's one of us, man. You see him with the Kaepernick jersey on, like he's worn it and he supported Kaepernick.
Definitely.
And, he definitely thinks it's BS what happened to the man, and he probably just wanted to see everything go smoothly. It's like, you have it set up, and he probably, Jay had his gala and everything, so he probably, like, before he went to go do his gala, make sure everything was lined
straight
up
with Cap.
And then he see it go haywire, and he's like, damn, man.
But if he didn't know that by Kaepernick signing certain things would affect his money, I don't think he would be like...
It could have been somebody from the NFL just hating. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, let's just throw a monkey wrench in this shit. Yeah, monkey wrench.
Definitely. Definitely.
Well, you had Cole chime in. Cole said, me thinking the NFL was about to do the right thing. So clear, and then a bunch of clown face emojis. So clearly Cole weighed in, and there were other artists didn't think that the NFL was doing the right thing. So what do you think the general consensus is?
I just think it's like I got a great friend, Lloyd Bellamy III. He always says, "Don't serve me steak and crab legs on a garbage pail lid." You know what I'm saying? It's like they dressing it up like they was making it good for him, and then they kind of took it away with all of these stipulations and everything.
But you still, it's like, again, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Like, you still got to give the NFL credit for the fact that they went and they fucked with Hov to be like, yo, help us.
It was interesting because
to acknowledge that, because a lot of these motherfuckers they're ignorant and they'll never acknowledge when they messing up.
I mean, do exactly what Shaw said is you can't make any change if you're an outsider. So the first step Jay can make to make any change is to get in the building, right? To get part of the organization. But after being there that day when he made the announcement with the Goodell, not an NFL player. I mean, one of the things Charlemagne the God was there kept on saying was harping on Kaepernick, right? And talking about that. Did you get permission? Like, did Jay get permission to go and do this NFL deal? And you definitely felt like Jay was sitting there like, I don't need fucking permission from Colin Kaepernick to do what I want to do business-wise. You know, so it seemed like there was definitely like a weird tension there of everybody asking about Kaepernick and Jay like, that's not the whole point of this and I don't do what I do because of Kaepernick without him saying that. So then it's interesting. Then the rumor comes out that he's trying to own an NFL team. And that's the whole angle of it is Jay's trying to get on own an NFL team. And that was like the rumor that leaked after if that was the whole plan for this. Then it kind of all went away. And now exactly what I think people wanted from Jay was for him to get involved with the Kaepernick side of things is exactly what was the first big move besides the announcement of whoever's going to be at the Super Bowl. So it seems like it's, to your point, Jay's trying to work from the inside unless it is the whole, I want my own team. And then if you have your own team, well, you could sign Kaepernick yourself, right?
Yeah, but you got to understand, like, even owning your own team, it's a long process. Like, it's not just a 2-week thing, a 2-month thing. Like, it takes, like, a good year and change, just, you know, and that's on the low end to, you know, get the team stuff and everything together. But, you know, people got to realize that as big as Jay is for our culture, he's definitely already, you see him making strides with the NFL, but, you know, he can't make these guys sign Colin Kaepernick. Right. You know, he could get in the door. He could open up the dialogue. I think a lot of NFL teams, they were just scared. You know, bottom line, they was just scared.
You're scared of the backlash.
Yeah, about the backlash, the political climate, and I guess they felt it wasn't worth it. You know, they felt that, you know, having... It's
that outweighing versus the merch and having the number one jersey and everybody buying the merch, because, I mean, everybody will be wearing that jersey, right? Of whoever he signs.
Will buy what,
so you're balancing out the money and the potential you can make over there from the backlash you get from your dedicated fans and potential sponsors, right? Because we're still not dealing with the fact of, is he still going to kneel, right? Which we assume he is, and any team that takes him has to take him with that in mind, right?
Well, it's against the rules now. Like, they said if...
you don't want to stand for it, stay in the locker room.
Yeah, so what do you think Kaepernick will do? He'll stay in the locker room every time, or he'll come out and kneel anyway?
He'll stay in the locker room. And, you know, one thing we didn't even mention yet, you know, still during the workout, he had the Kuta Kente
T-shirt
on. Like, he's still doing it on his terms. Like, I think for Cat, man, like, even if he doesn't get a chance to play, I think he just wanted the opportunity just to show the world, like, look, man, y'all done dissed me for 3 years, y'all done blackballed me. Regardless if I could play or not, I'm in shape. You know, I still could throw the ball, and, you know, whatever it is, I'm happy. I'm still doing it on my terms, and I'm good. He's still making money for Nike, so with Nike, I should say. So, you know, he ain't hurting, but it's definitely tough when you have a passion. And, you know, these guys have been football players like their entire lives. Like, you know, this is something that they started, you know, from like the Pee Wee League or something like that. Probably been playing football since he's like 5 or 6 years old. And then somebody tell you, what is Cap, like 31 now? So maybe at like age 28 for everything to end abruptly. And you just was at the Super Bowl a few years prior to that. It's the passion for the game, but, you know, I think his biggest statement was, I want to play, but I don't need it.
All right. Okay, well, good luck to him. But on the JayZ tip, so in continuing with JayZ news this week, Jay and his friends, who all got the Rolexes, right, the Rolex invites, raised $6 million for future college students at the Sean Carter Foundation. So looks like Jay's been busy regardless this week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good luck. We saw everybody on Instagram with their rock, Rolex invite, right?
I heard some people didn't get their rollies that was down with the rock, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a few people didn't get the rollies, man.
Should we guess who? No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe it's lost in the mail.
Yeah,
it was lost in the mail. Just regular
Can you imagine,
USPS on that one.
Can you imagine you're a mailman and, by accident, the package opens and you just see the Rolex from JayZ?
Would you keep it?
Yeah, that's dope. But then I was listening, like, it was a bunch of people who got all these invites for Tyler Perry's opening studios. And they were saying how crazy and how impressive it was. But nobody won't talk about it. So obviously, like, there's some things that, shout out to Hove. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? Because he pushes the culture forward. And that shit is dope. But some of the best shit is the shit that you just never really hear about behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like, my homegirl works over, shout out to Elon, who works over Tyler Perry Studios. And they was just all just gaga over, like, this presentation that they put out, which was in, like, a box. 50 put something up about it, which he was like, yo, this shit was so crazy. He was like, I gotta go there just from the presentation alone. But nobody's never said, like, what it really is. But, yeah, hey, it's not a bad thing to get a Rolex for an invite to a party.
I like the fact that we're seeing, like, a lot of, the year's not even over yet. I don't know why we didn't see the 50th Puff Daddy birthday party. I don't know why he didn't have one yet. But I like the fact that we're seeing a lot of just historic Black excellent moments, man. I like seeing, like, all of these people from the culture and
raising $6 million for a good cause.
$6 million instead of just splurging on it. I did see that they said Yo Gotti lost like $500,000 on one of the crap things, and you see JayZ
Jay upset
like,
about it. Yeah.
But they look like they had a great time, and
I think it's funny when your Instagram timeline is just all everybody at the same party, like posing in the same pictures, just different variations of that same picture. It's like, here's from over here, and then it took a little while over, and it's all everybody's just really happy they got invited to a JayZ party.
Yeah, and it's just stuff that it always bugged me out when you see like Fat Joe and JayZ together so tight, or like Jim Jones and JayZ. It just showed like just the growth of people. Khaled, Colin.
But you know what my biggest takeaway from that is? I got used to seeing Nipsey at those events, right? So I got used to seeing Nipsey be one of the people that was now in those JayZ big black tie events, and like, last year before he passed, you started to see him show up to more of the Jay stuff, or more of those big looks. And that was the first thing that came to me in this, is that this is something, maybe it doesn't even fit right, but this is something we would have seen Nipsey at, and it feels like that first big event like that with the suits and the so-and-so and the whole J Rock Nation feel or all that Nipsey wasn't at. That was my biggest takeaway from it. It was like, well, he would have been at this,
Yeah, Nipsey looked great when he dressed up.
When he dressed up, yeah.
That was the last time we seen him at the Rock Nation brunch.
See, right.
That was the very last time we seen him, and I was listening to, like, I had to stop listening to that DJ Khaled song Higher for a long time. Like,
segueing us right into the next segment.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I listened to it for the first time yesterday in a long time, man, and it just still give me, like, my eyes start watering up when I hear it, because it's just such a powerful and triumphant song, and it's like, you always like, damn, I can't believe he not here. With the Grammy nominations and everything just coming out, and I remember how happy he was last year. We sat down with him at Rolling Loud, like we really just about a year to the day. We sat down with him at Rolling Loud last year. He had the Tupac shirt on. We was in the parking lot. He was in a Sprinter, and he was just telling us about, he had his artists with him. He was so happy. He was just telling us about, like, all of these plans that he had to, like, really push the artists and grow the neighborhood. And we talked about the Grammys, and, Nip is, and I'm looking at him right now. Nip is, he's always calm and cool, but he had a big smile on his face. And I was like, come on, man, you gonna change, Nip? When you start getting all these Grammys, you gonna change? And he was like, nah, he had like a little smile on his face. He was so happy. And damn, I'm happy they acknowledging my man this year again.
Right, so he's got 2 nominations with the Grammys this year. One for Best Rap Performance for Racks in the Middle, and one for Best Rap Song Performance with DJ Khaled's Higher with John Legend. And the other one was, with Roddy Ricch and Hit Boy. So 2 nominations for Nipsey this year, and I think that was it. And a lot of other nominations, a lot of other stuff. So what do you guys think of the Grammy nominations? A lot of controversy, a couple days ago on the announcements of Lizzo's 8 nominations.
I mean, the biggest takeaway for me
Lil Nas
is
X.
I think that they definitely pay attention to the response of the lack of like their awareness. You know what I'm saying?
The
like,
Grammys pay attention to the response to their lack of awareness.
From the community when they be complaining like, oh, you missed this, you missed that. So they're trying, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's dope. Meek got nominated for a Grammy.
Best rap album.
Tyler got nominated for a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Best rap album.
That opens up a whole.
So let's go. Best rap
market.
album is Revenge of the Dreamers 3 from Dreamville.
And that was weird to me.
Well, it's funny because it's.
Because I'm like, because not for nothing, like a lot of niggas put out a lot of dope projects. Like not for nothing, like Jim Jones arguably had one of the best fucking albums this year. You know what I'm saying? Like
Tekashi did call him a retired rapper, though.
He did. But I'm just saying, like, it was, so when you started nominating, like, that was like a compilation.
It was a label compilation, a Dreamville compilation.
That's cool, but it's like
it's politicking too. I'm not taking nothing away from these albums. I think some of these albums are dope, but it's also politicking, man. I remember when Kanye was getting nominated and just talking about him going to like these brunches with these Grammy voters.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely the socializing label. And didn't we see that with Monique in the Oscars, and she wouldn't play the game, and she got a lot of flack for that because she wouldn't play the game of going to politic for the Oscars, and that's a big side of it, even though there's Grammys. But for you to go to the brunches and do the social and put yourself out there and basically kind of campaign.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with campaigning. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to. I mean, if it's something that you want to win, having it increases your bread. It increases, like, different places you could go. It's a difference between saying the Grammy Award-winning artist such and such and such. That goes a long way. You win a Grammy. It's not our awards. It's a lot of great ones from our culture that never won a Grammy before or got jerked out of the Grammy, and, they're still great, but it still goes a long way. A lot of people still get hyped for the Grammys. A lot of people.
Well, forever you become Grammy nominated.
Yeah, right, and that's a huge bragging right.
Right.
To just have you put that shit on your album cover, Grammy-nominated artists. You know what I'm saying? Nominated artists or whatever.
But forget nominated.
Didn't Casanova get nominated too, right?
Who?
Casanova.
I don't think so.
Let's pull it up.
I think he did.
Nah, he didn't. I was just playing.
I didn't think so. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to shit.
He's not on there, right?
I thought it was a long shot.
Nope, you're not on there, Cash. You're not on there.
He got that Rock Nation
behind him. I'll check.
We got to get on the board.
He ain't get on the Grammys and he ain't get the Rolex invitation. I'm just putting it.
We need a seat at these tables. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the problem with the Grammys is it's like you got all these, much respect to them, but it's like, they've been in the music industry 30, 40 years or whatever. They'll listen to the radio. They don't fuck with streaming services. They're not in the streets. They don't read magazines and shit like that. So they don't really know what's going on, but they're the ones who's making these decisions. So it's up to us as being like the stakeholders who really got to try to figure out the way to get involved. Shout out to Andre Harrell, who really gave me game on that shit.
Best rap album, Revenge of the Dreamers 3, Championships Meek Mill, I Am I Was 21 Savage, Igor for Tyler the Creator, and The Lost Boy from YBN Cordae. What's missing?
I thought 2 Chainz had a dope album. I definitely thought 2 Chainz had a dope album.
So you got 2 Chainz and you got Jim Jones.
Jim Jones, Nas, fucking...
Well, Nas was the Lost Tapes.
It's still an album.
Or are you talking about the Nasir album?
A release.
The Nasir album was
That was last year. That was 2 years ago. That wasn't this year.
yeah, that wasn't this year, but yeah, it came out in the summer, so it would have been nominated for the last Grammys.
All right, we got Lizzo and Lil Nas X nominated as Best New Artists. And, well, first, is Lizzo a rapper to you guys? Because if she's a rapper, she's got 8 nominations. That's a big hip-hop win, right?
I mean,
that's the typical Grammy fuck up shit right there. You're gonna be like, she's a rapper.
Well, she calls herself a rapper.
Right, because she's black.
Because
that's really how the shit really be coming.
No, she definitely identifies herself as a rapper.
Push them in this category, like.
I think she definitely identifies herself as a rapper, and she's put herself up against Future and Sway Lee and got controversy for that, saying she could rap like them, right, and had feedback there. She definitely considers herself a rapper. So if she considers herself a rapper, do we consider her a rapper?
No.
You know, like, are we telling her, no, that's not what you are? It's just...
Well,
I'm asking all
should we
three
ask
of you.
the resident
He
rapper?
doesn't seem to want to jump in on it.
I only heard one record of hers. That's the girl that sing her man is on the Minnesota Vikings, I think, right? That's Lizzo.
She has
New Man on the Minnesota Vikings. That's that song, right? So that wasn't. I don't think that was rap. I thought it was like a popish song. I didn't never hear her rap yet. So I don't look at her as a rapper because I actually never heard her rap yet. So
yeah, it feels. I mean, I like that she's embracing the culture.
I like that she's big and confident.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I give her props for that, but I don't think she's a rapper.
Yeah, I like her personality a lot. I think she's doing a lot for the BBW. She's doing a lot for just the big, beautiful women.
She just put a video out the other day, a little twerking in a little lingerie and all that.
She Megan and all of that type of stuff on the pictures.
Trying to get a Megan Thee Stallion on.
I don't think of her as a rapper per se. She's more like a pop artist doing it. I mean, you know, it's like, and I'm not dissing or nothing like that, but it's like, do we consider Kid Rock a rapper?
No, definitely not.
Do we consider Fred Durst a rapper? And you know, but I like the fact
here's a tweet from her. Truth Hurts, her song is officially Truth Hurts is officially the longest solo female rap #1 in history. I fell in love music when I was 9 years old. I know it's cliche, but music was literally my boyfriend. I had no idea a love affair would take me this far. So that's her comment on her as an artist. She's saying Truth Hurts is officially the longest solo female rap #1 in history. So out of her mouth, she's got the #1 longest female rap solo record.
Yeah, she was campaigning that for a long time.
Right. Are we saying no, Truth Hurts is not that, and you're wrong, or are we giving it?
I mean, it feels more like a.
Would you go to a club and they're gonna put her record on?
No, but they don't play a lot of rappers in the club.
No,
they don't.
I'd say she didn't come up for the conversation about freshmen this year, and nobody said she was missed on it, and nobody said we missed the boat on it, and Lizzo should have been there, and that didn't come up as a big pitch from her camp that she had to be on there. And that sometimes gauges to me of where you see yourself as, you know, similar to Post Malone, who did everything he could to not be part of freshmen, you know, and not identifying a rapper that way. Like, that's the thing I think is that if you're ushering yourself in and you're not coming in that mentality of being interested in freshmen, you don't have to. Or part of that conversation, sometimes I'm like, okay, well, maybe you aren't identifying yourself as a rapper. So for me, looking at her, I wouldn't think of her as rap first just in how she entered the game. However, she would probably physically sit here and argue with me based on that comment that she made to say she has a #1 rap song.
I don't identify her as a rapper per se, but I don't have beef with it. Like if she's coming in and she's, you know, born in, you know, Lizzo, she's born into hip hop, probably been listening to hip hop her whole life. She's part of the culture. From what I see, she's not repping it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's out empowering women. She's not doing anything wrong. We got a whole lot of rappers that's repping the culture the wrong way. It's
the Lil Nas conversation all over again.
I'm ready.
You know, just
he's a rapper.
I mean, would you?
I don't look at him.
I don't look at him
might
as a
say
rapper.
that, but if you ask a motherfucker, a hardcore country fan, if he's a country artist, you see what I'm saying? Like it just depends on the community and how they accept.
I mean, he's rapping on that song.
Like I said,
ask a
motherfucker who's a hardcore country fan if they're like, oh, he's a country artist.
Well, country and rap.
Like he's Kenny Rogers. You know what I'm saying?
Ice-T said a long time ago,
rapping.
country and rap are the genres that's closest to each other. You know,
I'm not sure where that fits in right here, but okay.
I mean, if you listen, he's actually rapping on the song. Like he's doing like a sing-songy rap.
I don't think it's
now. Am I gonna put him in a cipher with Pusha T or something like that? No, but he's rapping. I'm taking the win for rap. That's the biggest song of the year, one of the biggest songs in history. I'm going to take the win for hip-hop on that one. I'm not going to say country music, y'all have that one.
No, I'll give it to country music on that one.
You going to give it to country music?
I'll give it to country. They could keep that. We had enough hip-hop shit that was, like, big. Country music could have that shit. And they could have him, in my opinion.
And it's so rare because it's like he's black, he's mad young. Now he's
from
like
Atlanta,
coming out,
from Georgia,
right? And now he's saying that he's
gay.
Know, that's a lot of rarities.
Yeah, country could have
him.
They could have him.
Is Post Malone a rapper?
I'm not.
I mean, do we have this thing? If you got Post Malone, you have Lil Nas X, you have Lizzo, you have these people who can't be really put into boxes at all, so they're non-genre specific. Yeah, and we're trying to cram them into a genre, and that's what the Grammys does, is cram people into certain genres that might not be fair anymore. Or maybe we don't have genres within hip-hop, and that's something that we need. There's certain types of hip-hop that people fall in, or does that not answer it? I've heard this argument before, and I forgot from who, and they'd be very mad. But what's about how we don't have genres within hip hop, and if we did, that maybe would help us be able to define things more. If
the start calling some shit hip hop, right? Like hip hop.
Hip hop.
Yeah.
Hip hop. So we got a few of those artists out there. When you think about it, it's kind of like hip hop artists.
Yeah.
The thing I like about I think Post Malone,
the culture's evolved. The music is evolving.
I think he raps. I've been around him.
Actually, see him try to do freestyle.
Right, and he's been like freestyling.
And really try to do his little
rap. Would you give him biggest
rapping.
rap album of the year? Is that sales wise? Sales wise, that would be right now the biggest rap album of the year. Would be Post Malone's album. Would you be comfortable with saying the biggest rap album of 2019 was Post Malone? And biggest album. Thank you from the social department.
Biggest album, period, regardless of genre.
Biggest album, regardless of genre, is Post Malone.
I mean, it's a fine line, but I think it's still important to really make it be clear, like, these is real rap albums, these is hip hop albums.
Because this is what the Grammys is dealing with when they're picking out who's going to be nominated, right? Is what do these fall in?
Do you think those people from the Grammys are actually like listening to like fucking Jim Jones' album or like Khaled's album? Like, they probably never heard that shit before.
Well, when we say biggest, we talking about like what's been streaming the most, what's been selling. We're not talking about like what's the actual best.
We're not talking from a critic's perspective.
Yeah,
we're talking literally from sales
numbers
and charts and numbers. If you look at it, the biggest album of the year is going as of now is Post Malone. Yeah. And that's going to be categorized as the biggest.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Post Malone being
on that front is accurate.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it being the top selling rap album of the year, and I don't have a problem. Again, I'll take the win for hip hop or hip hop. Like, I'll take the win of our genre having the biggest selling project that came out this year. I'll definitely take that. I think it's a win for us. We could say in 2019 a rap album was the #1 album, period. I don't have a problem with that. Now, when you tell us about the biggest selling albums, when we look at Post Malone and Tyler the Creator and Juice being the top 3 sellers, does that give us a signal saying, Kendrick, it's time for you to come back out?
But look at it. So you're looking at 2020, probably a J. Cole project, probably a Travis Scott project, maybe another Kanye project, probably a Drake project, probably
need all of that.
A Kendrick problem. So you're looking at the heavy hitters coming in for 2020 and taking 2019 off.
We need all of that.
Yeah.
We need all of that. We need it. I mean, we need. I mean, it's always been points in hip hop and points in rap, whatever you want to say, it's been points where the true MC hasn't had the biggest selling record. I mean, it's a lot of times when, I mean, and I like Nelly. You know what I'm saying? I listen to his music, but Nelly was at a point where when he was coming out with his thing, you know, he was looked at as a rapper, but he had a new twist on it. You know, Nelly was doing like the sing-songy thing.
He was hip hop.
You know what I'm saying? Like him and Kelly Rowland, he's actually damn near singing that record. Like he's way ahead of his time. And it was a point where Nelly was vastly outselling JayZ and Nas and all of that.
He was always hip hop to me, though. I mean, he was always, even if he
is.
EI and whatever those were, but he came in with Country Grammar, which was rapping it up.
I'm a big Nelly fan, but I'm just saying that when he first came in, it was a lot different from, you know, what we had. Now we have other people. Like it's evolved from Nelly into Post Malone.
Sometimes
now.
I think people sleep on Nelly's impact. You know what I mean? Like,
huge impact.
Of how big he was and all of this thing. Like, we give Drake credit, we give a lot of other people credit, but he came in and really changed things at the time.
Listen,
I don't like Nelly that much, man. One night I was in the club with him. It was me, 50, and Bow Wow, and Jermaine Dupri, and
it's a funny group of
Trey Young, and it was a whole bunch of us this night. Fab, everybody was there, and you know, everybody coming up to me, all seeing each other, everybody like, "Your Murda, what's up?" And he's right there next to them. He was a little high. I'm not gonna front. I don't know where he was popping, but he was a little high. But he just kept fucking calling me Tony Yayo the whole night. And everybody's saying Murda, what's up? Like Murda, what's up? And he just like, yeah. Yo, Yayo, you smoking with me? Yo, Yayo, you drinking? Like, yo, bro. You know what I mean? The nigga was pissing me off, man. I just had to get that off my chest. You know what I mean?
He gonna make that. He gonna make the year in rap.
He might, because I was really pissed off that night. He kept doing it. Even Bad Boy looked at him like, I don't know what's up with him, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? When Bad Boy stole the money and shit.
Oh,
yeah, that was the night. It was one of them nights.
So he really stole the money. You got to break it down.
I mean, I can't get too much into that. I don't know exactly what he did, but you know, what I mean? Yeah.
But he just said that, you know, Bow Wow stole the money.
Yeah.
So we'll read
I
between
mean, he
the
paid
lines.
it back. I think. You know, I think he paid it back by now.
So when do you start putting together these year-end wrap-ups? Like, you already got it in your mind now?
I started that around 2014, but I usually start up around this time when I do write it, like around Thanksgiving, after I eat. Then I usually start throwing niggas under the bus. Like... Nah, I usually probably just hit one of my mans, shout out to my nigga Reem, like, yo, text me everything that happened this year. That's kind of crazy or something like that. Then certain things stand out that you automatically know that was a real impactful.
What stood out to you right now?
I mean, this year was kind of sad, like, you know, because Nipsey died in the beginning of the year. So it just made me look at things a little different. A lot of, you know, like for what he stood for and how people looked at him, it make you want to change a little bit. So it made me like, damn, I ain't even really want to kind of throw people under the bus like that. I'm like, because he was he was so empowering. It was like, then hear me come with some negative, you know, so... It was like that. Then on top of that, I lost I lost my aunt and my uncle this year too. Nice. So it was things that just had me kind of like, you know what I mean? But then so much happened, and it's entertaining, and people hit me up every day for like, yo, it's that time. You know what I mean? We getting close to the time, so I like it. People play themselves, and I just like to point it out.
When you think about like the shit with like Nipsey. He was a guy who obviously was like, you know, you can touch and feel him. He's a part of like the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You a guy like that, and you know, some people be like a lot of niggas were saying shit like, you know what? You just can't take care of them all the time. You need to just leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, on some turn your back on your community.
I don't think that's the approach. I don't necessarily think that's the approach. I still think you could go back and do things for the community and the hood that you're from. You know what I'm saying? So the thing that happened with Nipsey is unfortunate, but I don't think it should stop anybody that want to go back and help their community and things of that nature. I still think that's possible, and there's a way for that to happen without things ending like it did with Nip. So,
what do you think the lesson we learned from the Nipsey stuff, if anything? I mean, besides it being a complete tragedy, and we'd hate to learn a lesson that way, but do you think there was anything that you as an artist learned from the situation?
You know, I look at it like this a little bit sometimes, and it's just me, like, really being. If everything I heard about it was true, like, I don't know, they said Nipsey like called them a rat.
Right, we really don't know what happened, but
I don't really know,
right.
but I know if that was the case. If that was the case, I know if you doing certain things, and if you on a whole different wave and you moving a whole certain way, and if you actually, ran into somebody that is a rat, I feel like if you're not really engaging like that or trying to see, don't even mention it. I feel like if you somebody like that's on a positive note, and you come from the streets and you're doing certain things, and you're trying to change your ways of living, and you're trying to encourage that in the community, and you do see somebody that ratted or something like that, I don't feel you need to antagonize the person or like mention it in a certain environment, whatever the case, because you're not on that type time no more. Don't associate yourself with the person, cool that, but if, like I said, if they say, because I don't know, but the story I got was Nipsey called them a rat. That's all I heard. Nipsey called them a rat, and homeboy felt hurt and went back, and whatever the case may be, that happened. So if that happened like that, my advice to the next person that's like following Nipsey steps, if you feel like that and you see somebody that did that, just, hey, don't try to embarrass the person, or don't even speak upon it. Like, just leave it alone. Stay away from it. Because if you ain't in that type of time no more, you trying to build things in the community, stay away from it. Don't even mention it. Don't leave them alone. Just don't acknowledge him at all, period.
Right.
And whoever you associating with, don't acknowledge him at all neither. Like, he don't even exist. Like, you know what I mean? So that's how I look at that situation.
But it might have been the context too. Like, like I said, I don't know what happened, and I don't proclaim to do, but it's, certain things you hear, like the guy was trying to come around Nipsey, and he like, nah, you can't even come around me like that. Like, I think that's where it might have came through. But, regardless, man, I just feel so bad about it, because the guy who did it, he knew, regardless of what Nipsey said, Nipsey could have said something else to him, but it's like he knew what Nipsey was about.
Definitely.
He knew what
Nipsey wasn't trying to bring you no harm.
Right.
But you could put a person back against the wall when you embarrass them and say certain things in front of a bunch of people. You can you belittle them, and you force them to kind of react. If a person is like that or something like that. So I just say, like, if like whoever it is, if you ain't even dealing with it, cool, leave it alone.
But that's the thing for you as rappers, is the challenge is at some point you just have to remove people from your circle.
Of course.
From physical presence around
but
you.
I know he's saying sometimes you got people trying to just find you. They just keep popping up where you at. Yo, let me talk to you though, bro. Like, so I get that. So, a motherfuckers just keep coming around. So.
And artists, rappers, everybody has a day too. Like, everybody has a bad day where it's just, they might just be like, damn,
that's true
going
too.
through all type of shit, and somebody coming up, nah, man,
get your red ass out of here. So I get it, definitely. We all had them days, definitely.
You never know. But on a lighter note, man, it does have to. I have a question. It does have to deal with a shooting, but it's on definitely a lighter note. Who the hell shot Ghost?
Yo, it's so crazy.
Man,
Who the
I
hell
thought he was
shot
about to say
Ghost?
some other shit. I was about to go home.
I was like, what light shooting is
I was
this
sitting here
talking
thinking
about?
about, like, how can we segue into this shit with, like, being respectful to access, nigga? I was gonna say the same shit.
He can't say anything.
I'm actually gonna blow it up. I'm mad because I was supposed to be in it. So being that I'm not, I'm gonna actually tell y'all who shot Ghost. Okay. It was Kanye.
Oh.
Nah, I don't know who shot Ghost.
Yeah.
Fifth ain't let that shit out, man. I was trying to ask him. We was just on tour, Australia. Me and Yaya was trying to ask him, like, yo, nigga, who shot Ghost? You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't tell us.
Dead?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I think.
Or is he gonna die?
I think he's probably dead this time. Cause actually, when I look back at it, it was the left side of the chest, and that's where the heart is. So I don't know. I think he might be dead.
I saw an interview with Fifth, and Fifth said Ghost is a sucker. So when I heard that,
Oh man,
when I heard
that, I ain't hear that one, man.
I think it might have been on either Ebro or Breakfast Club. I can't remember, but Fifth said, I think it was on Breakfast Club. He said Ghost is a sucker, man. This was recent when he was doing his round. When he said that, I said, oh.
He said Ghost dead.
I said it ain't looking too good for Ghost. And I know. I don't think he's dead yet. I don't know. I just don't feel like he's dead.
Yeah, because it feel like it's like it's more to go with it, so he got to be there. Yeah.
He's dead.
But who's going to carry the show now?
They're not. The show's over.
We got 5 episodes.
I got 5 episodes coming in January.
That's a long time to go. 5
He's gonna
episodes.
be dead within those 5 episodes.
Why you ain't on Power?
I mean, I gotta take my I gotta get more on my job.
Cause I saw the joint.
I was in with Bruce Willis.
My man who played D-Rock. He showed me the trailer that what you have.
Yeah,
killed that.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about that movie I did with my boy from Jersey? And yeah, definitely. I've been doing a little bit. I was in Money and Violence also. I was in season 2 of that. That was a good run. 50 had put me in the movie with Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo. I did that. I just got to get more focused with it. That's one of my goals for the new year, to really start taking more acting classes and like really go hard with that.
Yeah, I think you did a good job. There's not too many niggas who you can, like with the rap shit, like which really like Pac and Ice Cube like really started, but it's like there's not too many guys you can put in front of a camera and it's like they're believable.
No, definitely,
you know
definitely.
So
that's something I'm trying to get into. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like when I seen like fucking one of the guys from In Living Color like holding a gun and moving, I'm like, come on, dog. Like nobody believes that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not even believable.
It is funny when you see like weird Law and Order episodes and they have a rapper as a guest and you're like, he's not that guy.
He's not that guy, man. Holler at me, please, man.
Are you entertained by 50's Instagram? He just deactivated it and reactivated it.
Yeah, he back on. I was actually winning when he deactivated it, so I thought it was hilarious because people kept hitting me like, "Yo, man, where's 50? I see him on your Instagram."
What'd he do? Why did Instagram shut him down?
I don't know. He was just chilling for a minute. You know, he was just chilling.
How was y'all was overseas, right?
He did
Australia. We was in Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, that was dope. I didn't even know Janet Jackson was gonna be on the tour, man. It was Janet Jackson, Jason Derulo, Black Eyed Peas, Brandy, Kerry Hilson, Cisco.
Yeah. Did you see a kangaroo?
Definitely saw a kangaroo.
You did?
Yeah, and I saw a koala. I actually went nose to nose with a koala.
I've heard about the koala visits. We saw Yayo put it up on his IG. I was wondering about the kangaroo.
Yeah, we saw a kangaroo as well. That wasn't my first time out there with them, so yeah. I'm cool with the kangaroos in Australia, yeah. They got love for me.
You ain't try to sneak one back to the States?
Nah, man. We ain't doing that.
Kangaroo running through Brooklyn. We know who it is.
That would have been live.
Yeah, remember when we was in Africa, my man tried to sneak he did. He snuck a turtle back in, but imagine trying to sneak a...
he snuck a turtle back?
Yeah, one of our guys snuck a turtle.
Why?
You just fascinated.
One of the African turtles.
Yeah, hey.
And mind you, he went through 3 different...
Ooh, I heard Colin Kaepernick's had a turtle his whole life. Just throwing that out there because I was reading about it. And you're like, he's had a turtle since he was a child.
Oh,
I was like,
man.
Oh, interesting. I wanted to offer that back.
I grew up watching the Ninja Turtles.
So what's going on with the project?
Well, we dropping the project. I ain't even sure if I'm dropping it on the date that I was supposed to be dropping it there, but the project got a bunch of people on there, man. I got Benny the Butcher on there, Kiss, Conway, Tory Lanez, Q Bands, Derez Deshawn. Just real entertaining street music. I like to detail the streets a certain way, give people a good type of feeling.
What you talking about?
I'm talking about, all types of things, man, that got to pertain to the streets, but I make you laugh while I do it sometimes as well, and also make you think as well on this one, I was even kicking it with God a little bit on this one, so a lot of surprises on there.
Will you be on Jesus is King too?
You know what? I won't, but one of my mans actually will be. I can't talk about that, but one of my peoples, I'm actually very happy for him. I would have been. Me and Kanye was actually okay, man. My guy, Cooch, where you at? You ain't here, right, Cooch? Yeah, he over there. A funny story about Kanye. One time I was at a studio. I actually went to go meet up with Akon. but I got there a little late, so I missed them. And then I wound up running into L'Oreal, so I was just in her session for a minute in the rehearsal studio. So I was in her session for a little bit, hanging out there, watching her do her thing. And then as I'm leaving out, I'm running to Kanye. And he go, oh, shit. I'm like, yo, what's up, Kanye, Uncle Murda? He said, I know who you is, man. I fuck with you, man. Yo, man, I think you really fucking dope. I always felt like Jay should have kept you. I'm like, oh, that's what's up, man. I didn't even know you fuck with my shit like that. He said, nah, I fucks with you. I'm like, dope, man. So I just kept it moving. And then L'Oreal called me a half an hour later, like, yo, you just saw Kanye? I'm like, yeah. She's like, yo, he wants your number. I'm like, man, get that nigga my number. You know what I mean? I was like, give Kanye my number. So then he called me like half an hour after that. And then he was like, yo, man, he had one of his peoples call me saying that they're going to be in the studio. So we actually went to a studio to go fuck with Kanye. This when he was working on the project. I forgot what project it was. It was one of them ones that came out with Chief Keef and all. I think it was Pablo, one of them.
Oh, that might have been the Cruise Summer joint.
Probably one of those, but I know it was Chief Keef on there. Like, I was in there with Mr. Bentley and all that, the guy that used to be with the dance.
Yeah, Consworth.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Consworth, whatever. Yeah, Kanye had us in there for like 3-4 days straight, right, Cooch? So we in there, we just fucking with Kanye every day. He had me working on some music, did a couple things. He was excited. We was dope, working on some things, Big Sean and everything. And then I see like on my phone, Twitter, a record that I had did prior to running into Kanye from my man Wack. Shout out to Wack 100. I had did some shit the Ray J remix. I hit it first for Wack. Not expecting to ever run into no fucking car. You know, I'm just a controversial guy. I hit it first, give me whatever. Talk about who. You know what I mean? So I did that I hit it first shit. Then I'm seeing as I'm with Kanye in the studio, I'm seeing this shit coming out like it's like, yeah, Ray J featuring Uncle Murda. I'm like, damn, this shit out now? So I'm like, damn, I'm telling Cool, like, yo, we gotta go to the studio for a little bit, right? So I got calling my man Wack, trying to put the lid on it, like, yo, I can't be on that record no more, right? He like, yo, Murda, the record is out already. Like, yo, the record been out for like 2 days. And I'm like, yo, it's out. I'm like, yo, you gotta try to play. He's like, yo, I can't, Murda. You know, it's all over social media. I'm like, damn. So I had to go tell Kanye. I'm like, how the fuck I'm gonna do this? My man Cool like, you just gotta tell him. Just tell him. I'm like, shit. So it was the last day coming to the studio because he was about to go to London for a few. He's like, I need y'all to come through because I'm going to London for a few days. So I need y'all to get a couple things right. I'll be back in about a week. I'm like, all right, bet. So we pull up to the studio. I'm like, yo, damn, yeah, I gotta talk to you, man. Like, you know, before you hear from anybody else, like, you know, I always talk crazy about a lot of people and shit. I'm like, so, you know, because he already knew that about me, so I'm trying to put that out there. You know, I always talk crazy. You know, I be well. I don't pay that shit no mind, right? But,
I talk shit about you. Don't pay attention.
So it's you know, I didn't know I was going to be working with you. I had no idea we was going to really be fucking working and this would be happening like that. I didn't think you was going to be fucking with me. But, a few weeks ago, prior to meeting you, you know,
he put that pride.
Prior to us establishing this great relationship of ours, you know what I'm saying? I happened to get a phone call from somebody that I rock with on some street shit. You know, and I make this, my man Wack on some street shit. You know, he was dealing with Ray J, and I did the they was working the I Hit It First record and all that, and I had did a remix to it, and it had recently just came out. He was just like, oh, what? So, oh. He said, nah, I ain't stressing that shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm like, yeah, we good. He said, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Hell yeah. So I'm out to London. I'm get back. I'm like, all right, cool. And for some reason, ever since that conversation, whenever me and my man Cooch tried to reach out, we just never got no response. You know what I mean? So that was the end of my Kanye era. Yeah, I think the bridge probably was burned. That was the end of my Kanye era.
I can see you being like, no, you got to pull it off of social.
I was like, please try to play. Like, how the fuck can I do that? It's everywhere. Yeah. So that was crazy, man. So I don't think I'm gonna be on the Kanye album part 2, but I would have. I had a great opportunity of being on there, man.
So when you be doing like those rap ups, like clearly, you know, it be rubbing some niggas the wrong way. Like I saw the whole, you know, the whole skills thing. Clearly.
I mean, you gotta be political, right? Like, how do you decide the line between being political?
I mean, sometimes you know what it is.
Everybody gives a fuck about something.
It's once a year, right? And and hip hop is so cool and so sensitive, and sometimes I feel like you just need a bad guy, or you need somebody that's just gonna say the shit that you might really want to say, but you like, I don't want to ruin that relationship, or I don't want to get him mad, or I probably don't want that kind of smoke with such and such because they look a little wild. But it'd be things you might really want to say, or everybody want to say, period. So I just like to be that guy. I take the chances. I take the risks and some other backlash and the negativity.
What's the name of the project?
Don't Come Outside Volume 2. Yeah. Don't come outside. You shouldn't come outside if you're not.
Because it's coming out in December and it's cold?
It's cold, and that's the type of, that's grimy season. Right. It's just cold. People outside.
It's dark early.
Usually that's outside in the cold after certain type of hours. It's kind of up to no good. Reason. So you should kind of stay in the house and just probably listen to the music. Don't come outside.
You know how it is. The people want to ensure they're going to have a good Christmas.
Yeah, so there's some. Yeah, exactly. There you go. So.
One way or another.
It's definitely not a clothing drive invitation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, probably.
What you think about what you think about the NYC hip hop climate, and where you are?
I actually like what New York is doing right now. I feel like a lot of the young boys. I'm definitely like my young boys, Chef G, Sleepy Hollow. I like what Pop Smoke. I like what everybody doing. I like the young boys, Dave East. I like what everybody out there doing. I just feel like New York is finally on the scene. Like, cause we was a little quiet for the while. The South was so dominating, but now you actually got the young New York artists that's making some good music that's got people moving and bouncing the same way as you would if the South artists would make it. So I like that.
When do you think the last time New York was like that?
It's been a while since, you had so many New York artists that was, kind of popping like they is now, because you got a lot of New York artists making, good noise down to the little TJs and all that, so the Cardi B. I just feel like New York is heavy on the scene. It wasn't like that probably since, I go back to probably, the 90s when it used to be, you had the Nas, you had Jay, you had Big, you had the Lox, you had Mobb Deep. You had so many, different New York niggas that was talking that shit, but it was different styles from Capone and Noriega to everybody. So I say it wasn't like that for a while, but you kind of get that feeling now because there's so many different New York artists right now that's doing it, but with different styles in their own little way.
Yeah.
You think we're going to see a King of New York again? Because, before that used to be such a big thing, man. Even with Fifth and Jay and Nas and, all of these people vying for the crown for NY.
I think you would, but you kind of won't, because the young boys' crown it's different. These young boys, they crown. We might not be in their world, but they already done crowned certain people already. But we just might not know who they really fucking with. But these young boys is really growing up off of the people that they listening to now. Just like how we might have grew up to a JayZ. You still got some people that say Jay's my favorite rapper. Nah, Pac my favorite rapper. Big's my favorite rapper. Nas my favorite rapper. So we had different people, cause it's only an opinion. You can't sit here and tell me, nah, how you think JayZ's the best rapper? Nigga, you bugging, it's Biggie. You can't tell me that Jay's not the best rapper. It's just an opinion. So these young boys be crowning who they crown. To some of these young boys, they look at Chief Keef as a god. Just who it is. So from New York, they might look at Lil TJ as the next king and feel like he's doing it right now. And feel like that's they dude that they following. Or they might be following a Benny the Butcher or Conway, or you don't know who they looking at and they calling that's the dude that's who I wake up to every day and listen to before I go outside and try to get it. That's why I'm riding around in the car to when I'm trapping. So that's how you determine who your favorite rapper is.
And who you think got it out of the young kids? Is there one sticking out? I know A Boogie got a lot of hits back to back, man.
He definitely do. Boogie is. A lot of young kids look at A Boogie as that that dude right now. Like you can't tell him he ain't that dude.
And young girls like him.
And the girls like
it's
him.
hard
So
to get, female fans.
so you can't tell some of them, like, to some of them, A Boogie is the king. To some of the young generation, they looking at, we're a little older. We probably won't look at A Boogie as a king. We look at him like, all right, A Boogie is doing his thing. Like, but we more still, we are appreciating some JayZ drops, still waiting, or like, all right, you heard that new, like, we still want some of that to be like, yeah, you see my son, you know what I mean? Like, we still want to brag about that. You see that shit, Hov just spit on that big shit, nigga, yeah, my boy talking, but
the cool thing is that hip hop's old enough to have those breakdowns.
Definitely,
right? So it's
hell
old enough
yeah.
for us to exist and to
still
wait for
appreciate
Jay
what's
and
going on.
appreciate
Definitely,
it, like,
definitely.
It's been around long enough, because if you rewind when we were saying when they were all kings 10, 15 years ago, it didn't have the longevity for it to have transition like
definitely.
That. You don't have that.
Definitely.
I think the thing that's dope is that the people that was in a certain class, they didn't just fade away and stop putting
definitely like prior to them a little bit, the way it happened. Definitely,
like Kane and Rakim and all of them, they still doing
they still here and salute to them. I know what you're saying though,
but they
it's not as visual as like you still like don't get embraced as much neither. I feel like saluted.
Well, you got to the point where a 40-year-old rapper could survive, right? It used to be look like that was an old person, but then so many rappers became 40 and 45 and sustained.
And became damn near more popular than they was before. Definitely.
Just were able to figure out how to have life after all of that.
Definitely.
That we were able to create a
and
place
social
for them.
media helps as well too.
So
social media helps as well. Mm-hmm. So.
But what's so funny? A lot of these guys, a generation prior is like the same age as, some of these like. Big Daddy Kane just turned 50. He's the same age as Puff.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying.
It's just they found different ways to...
Different hustles. I said, different hustles.
Kind of freak it.
Keep themselves relevant.
I know what I wanted to ask y'all. Like, we was talking about Kanye earlier. What did y'all think about the picture that came out on the gram with Kanye and Dr. Dre together?
That was this week, yeah.
I didn't see that. Was that a real picture? They really was together?
Nah, they were really together in the studio.
That came out on Dr. Dre Instagram.
Did you work with Dre?
I never actually got to work with Dr. Dre. That's one person I actually never got to work with.
So they got Dre and Kanye in the studio together, and they announced both on Kanye's Twitter and Dre's Instagram that there was Jesus is King 2. That they'd be working together on that.
That's interesting.
And so that was this week, and everybody went crazy because people still go nuts over anything Jay does. And then not Jay, Dre, what's his name?
Kanye?
Dre does.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Dre. And then you've got two producer stars. Super producers.
I mean, I think it's cool, but, you can't diss Dre because he's a legend, but I feel like Dre is a little bit out the loop, too, at the same time. So just because he's in a picture with Kanye don't co-sign on all the bullshit Kanye been doing.
You get a cosign, but you do get a cosign just from standing next to him and taking that picture, though. That does offer a cosign.
That says something,
that
right?
Says something
it is
right
Dr.
there.
Dre, right?
It's Dr. Dre. Knowing what it is to stand in the studio next to Kanye and take that picture and let them put that up. We know what that was.
It's big, but
it's just interesting because the complaint of
I
Kanye's
know Kanye still, he got to clean up, man. He still got.
But I think it's interesting is with Kanye, the biggest complaint I heard about the project was not liking the lyrics. Oh, the beats are fire, but the lyrics were questionable. Well, if Dre comes in, is Dre going to help you with? He's not going to help you with the lyrics, right? So then you have two super producers working on a project where the one consensus was everyone liked the beats, right? So he doesn't need help in the beat.
That's half.
It's never gonna come out.
That's half the battle right there.
Right?
Definitely.
It's probably gonna be some amazing sessions, but it'll never come out.
Nah, they said it was gonna be on Jesus is King too. I'm sure he'll come back.
What is a song of them together, or they're doing all Jesus is King together, and they're both executive producing? He's executive producing.
That I don't know. On my first thought, I think it's a song.
It's a song. Where they make the beat together.
I actually think it's just a picture.
I think it's just a picture.
I think he got a Dre beat.
It's just a picture.
I think he got a Dre beat. I think he got a Dre beat. And Dre
How often is Kanye rapping over beats that aren't his?
He's been doing more of it lately, and I don't like it. I like for him to rap over his own stuff. I think Kanye is one of our great producers, man. One of our greatest producers that we seen. Like,
So he doesn't
I'm
need Dre.
uncomfortable talking about Kanye because I talked about him so much in the wrap up, and I already kind of messed up with the relationship, and I'm trying to fix it so I could get on the second project right here.
right.
So can we move on? Trying to fix my relationship with you.
You'll hear this.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, let's get focused, baby.
All right, last piece of news for the week is we had A$AP Rocky, a New York rapper who I don't know if he's a king or not, but he's definitely popular, mentioned in the impeachment hearings with Trump and all of that. So we're having some impeachment hearings, and twice so far A$AP Rocky's name has come out as being mentioned in his whole Sweden thing. And I don't know, it seems kind of surreal hearing A$AP Rocky
nice
talk
promotion.
about...
Drop a record.
Word. A$AP Rocky need to
do
impeach the president 2020.
Drop a record right now, my God. That's my nigga too. Shout out A$AP.
Nah, he won't. But imagine if he came out with impeach the president 2020.
But what his name? What you mean his name is involved with it? Coming up how? Like,
that Trump spoke about him and said, spoke about his case in Sweden, and they were some of the people who had conversations with Trump about some other stuff having to do with Ukraine and all of that stuff, said during the conversations that they had on an unprotected phone line, Trump brought up Rocky and said he should just call the racism card. He's in trouble there. He's fucked. And, just the fact that Trump is talking about A$AP Rocky's Sweden case and the Kardashians as the president of the United States, and that Rocky comes up twice in these huge hearings are just as interesting, for him to be even hip-hop to be part of that conversation.
That's dope. That's dope.
Hip-hop is everywhere. You just
A$AP Rocky lit right now.
Yeah, Rocky need to.
He's on his way back to Sweden to perform.
Yeah,
right?
He's lit.
And they say he's supposed to be designing
the White House theme
uniforms for inmates in the Sweden
in
jail.
Sweden, right. In Sweden jail, he was
I don't know about
design
that,
their
but...
clothes, I guess.
Why is he going back to Sweden?
To perform, I think, right? Didn't he agree to go to Sweden to perform?
You wilding with that one.
It's interesting. I mean, you would think anybody would say, "Oh no," but he doing the opposite. I'm going back. I'm making them uniforms or making them prison outfits, and I'm going to perform. We didn't see that coming, so he's definitely throwing
that's a real story. I didn't even hear about that.
We're not making this up over here.
No way.
We're not spreading rumors.
That's dope.
Oh, it hasn't gone back yet, so let's see him go. But his mentality right now is he's going to perform, and he's going to make some inmate jumpsuits. I don't know if they're jumpsuits.
I know that bag is.
And he lost some money, so he got to make some of that money back. Fuck with all that shit.
Shot his lawyer.
He lost some money. All right, you got to make that back. I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing, A$AP.
I wouldn't.
Shot's not going back.
I ain't going back. When you're dealing with overseas and you're dealing with a whole different.
Law system, just period.
Yeah. How is it traveling over there and performing in them? You said you just came back from Australia.
It's dope.
They didn't arrest him.
Yeah, I got in the country.
He made it back. Yeah.
Nah, it was dope, man. Just people. Definitely for me, seeing that people really even fuck with me overseas, like this shit just be dope as hell. Like, and I feel like they appreciate your music a little bit more out there because they know they don't They know they're not going to get to see you as much, or they know they got to really embrace this moment because they don't know the next time you might be back out there. So I feel like overseas just have a more of appreciation for the artists from the States when we go over there. So I actually enjoy performing.
You been to Africa? Because I know 50 performed over there.
I never been to Africa. I've been so far Australia, France,
you gotta go to Africa.
Canada, Europe, and all that. Yeah, so I ain't been to Africa yet. Soon. We're about to go on a big tour so soon.
What does 50 think about the project?
Oh, 50 fuck with the music, man. I remind 50 of himself, so that's why he kind of really fucks with me a lot as well. So
you think we're gonna see him drop some music like heavily, like how he was doing?
He be on it, but he just be so like the movie money be calling, and it's very, I guess, enticing. So
absolutely.
it be calling, but no, he definitely loved the music, and I know he been recording some music. It's just about making the time to really lock in.
Fifth
he on it.
Fifth is one guy who, we hear a lot of rappers come in and, and I'm not, hey, you got to get your money, but we hear a lot of rappers come in and like when you ask them what's most important to them, and a lot of them will say to get in the bag over the actual art. And, me just knowing Fifth from the beginning of his career, I know how passionate that he was about the music, even when it was not money
making that money. Got you.
situation,
Nah, he still loved the music. Still loved the music. Like really loved the music. Like hell yeah.
I would, and I would like to see Banks somewhere come back into the fold. Man.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, me and my guy, we be speaking to Banks, trying to get him to get back. Yeah,
a Banks type situation.
Shout out to Banks, man. He just had another baby, so he chilling. He enjoying that part of life right now. But he about to get Banks. Yayo just told me he had a bunch of music that Banks just played.
But they just performed together.
They just actually went on. Right? They just actually went to Australia too. Yeah. They did their own tour before we actually went out there.
So Yayo's got a true fan base in Australia.
They fuck with Yayo out there, man. And now all that shit helps me, so I be loving it. Those are my guys, passport gang. That's what we call it.
Shall tell you, man, when we was at MTV, that fucking free Yayo, and you could relate to it.
Hey,
that free Yayo campaign
oh my god,
that shit was like on some free Mandela shit. Like that shit was.
Well, then Eminem wore the T-shirt at the Grammys. That was it. Yeah.
That shit was huge. That shit was so big. Yayo was my nigga. Like he's
we have to get Yayo up here.
Best guys.
You gotta get Yayo. Yayo is.
I want Yayo to do just a podcast of like G-Unit stories.
He's hilarious too. Yayo had y'all laughing all damn day, boy.
So one of the last things I wanted to ask you about that when you was talking to you was talking to God a little bit more, like.
Sometimes I just had to let him know on the record that he the real big homie, and I appreciate him. When I wake up, that's a W. So every day you wake up, you already won. I just go out there and get to it. But that's the biggest battle right there. You woke up, so I had to let him know that.
Right about that. There's a lot of people ain't wake up today.
Definitely. So as soon as you wake up, that's a W. You already won.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add? We went through the news. Got an update on the year-end rewind over there.
You can't follow up God. And he's wearing all white.
Golly talk. Yeah, I like that shot. Go on.
You can't